In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to draw Lewis structures using Achieve. I'm working on an iPad right now, and I want to let you know that even though Achieve is compatible with tablets and smartphones, it's not very easy to use it with tablets and smartphones. It's much easier to use it with a laptop. And so I might struggle a little bit with this, just kind of getting it to work the way I want to, and that's just because I'm using a tablet. So I'm gonna choose this problem right here just to kind of show you how it works. One thing that you need to pay attention to is notice that Achieve is only giving you a limited number of atoms to work with, which is kind of nice. It's just going to give you the atoms that you actually need to use. And later on in the year, sometimes that's going to serve as a really good hint in terms of, drawing a structure correctly. Also in these problem statements, I'm pretty notorious for ignoring the way the problem is worded in Achieve. It is going to give you some information about how it wants the structure formatted. So for example, in this one, it's telling us that we need to include lone pairs. Achieve will not always tell you that you need to include lone pairs. And we don't always include lone pairs when we draw structures. So sometimes it's kind of not in the front of our brain to include the lone pairs, but just make sure that you're reading to see if it does want you to do that or not. So one of the things that I don't particularly love about Achieve is that when you're drawing a molecule over here, these are your bonds, the single bond, double bond, triple bond. When you're drawing a molecule, you'll start by drawing a bond, and Achieve always defaults every single bond that you draw to be a carbon-carbon bond. So what I'm doing here is I've got this single bond tool selected, and then I'm just going to click in this drawing space, and it just automatically drops down a carbon-carbon bond, whether I want it to be a carbon-carbon bond or not. Let's just say like, oh, actually I want to make a nitrogen bond. Like you might think that you could select the nitrogen atom and then draw a bond, but it's still going to be a carbon-carbon bond. You might think, oh, I'll just select the nitrogen atom and then just draw a nitrogen atom. Well, that actually just changes an atom to a nitrogen. One thing that you can do if like you're really irritated with this feature of the software, if let's say you wanted to draw a nitrogen-nitrogen bond, you could select the nitrogen atom, you could draw two nitrogens, and then you could click on the bond tool. You could hold and click on one nitrogen and then drag your cursor over to the other, and that is going to create a nitrogen-nitrogen bond. But I personally feel like that's even more tedious. So what I'm going to do is kind of back up. I'm not going to draw the molecule that it's asking me to draw. I'm just going to draw like a 3-carbon chain. So let's say we wanted to draw a molecule that had 3 carbon atoms. I would start by drawing a bond, and then I'm going to click on the carbon on the right. That's going to give me my 2nd carbon atom. If you don't like the way any of these carbons are positioned, you could click the select tool, click and hold on an atom, and you can just drag it wherever you would like it to be. And then let's say that I want to add my hydrogen atoms to these 3 carbons. So to do that, I'm going to focus on my left-hand carbon, the carbon on the left. That needs 3 hydrogens on it. So what I'm going to do is click 3 times on that carbon atom to give it 3 bonds. And then I'm going to go up to my atoms, select hydrogen, and I'm going to click on those carbon atoms to change them to hydrogens. And that's, it's as simple as that. I'm going to put like a nitrogen on the center carbon right there. And then let's say, so this problem is telling you that you need to include lone pairs, which sometimes it tells you you do. The lone pairs are located in the More tab. If you select that, you can see over here, this is the pair, and then this would be a single electron. So if you want a pair, you click on the pair and then click on the atom, and it's just going to add lone pairs. It's going to add as many times as you click. If you are bothered by that, like so let's say you got a little too crazy and you added too many lone pairs, then you can just carefully, using this erase thing here, you can just carefully erase as many as you want. You are able to, I think you've probably seen me use it a few times, you are able to undo your work or redo your work with these little curved arrows. You're also able to zoom in and zoom out, and the zoom out can be really handy, especially if you're working on a tablet, because one of the problems with working on a tablet is that sometimes things end up going somewhere that are slightly off screen that you can't see. And this, I don't know what that tool does right there. There is also the option, if things just go super haywire, you can just reset the whole entire thing and just start completely over. Yeah, so that's pretty much all that you need to know about using the drawing tool in Achieve for double bonds and triple bonds. Things aren't any different. I guess I want to add this, if you are drawing a double bond or a triple bond, you can either just go straight to that triple bond and draw it, or you can start off with a single bond and then click on the single bond to change it to a double or a triple, either way.